corporate websites, as we know them today, are irrelevant. Why is this? Well, it comes back to trust. And we do research on who do people trust. And in most cases, people trust their friends, their peers, their acquaintances, their family to make decisions about products and everything like this. And we know that there's a new rash of tools that are appearing that are allowing people to have those trusted discussions online. You know, take for example, you're going to buy a new car. Now, if you know your neighbor has this car, you're going to trust his or her opinion so much more than that salesperson does with a bad tie. This same thing in real life is now happening online. These tools make it easy for everybody to connect to each other, talk and share. So the challenge is that trusted discussion is happening off the corporate social network. So they need to evolve in order to connect to these things. Now, it's interesting, as an analyst, we're watching how companies do these things, both good and bad. And in most cases, a lot of companies haven't figured out how to connect to this. They're launching Facebook pages, they're launching blogs, they're launching Twitter. The biggest challenge is they're not interacting the same way that the customer or prospect is acting. They tend to use things that they're traditionally comfortable with, like advertising or branded page buyouts, but they're rarely being involved in the same type of behaviors that we see in those trusted areas on the communities online. The first thing is brands need to have a strategy. It's not about technology. It's about figuring out who are you trying to reach, those people out there, how do they behave, what do they do to talk to each other. So understanding them first. Secondly, picking a business objective. What are you trying to accomplish? There's a lot of different things that you can do with these tools, but figure out what are you trying to do. Have a plan. And then finally putting all the pieces together around that, including the technologies. So starting with that bigger business discussion first. Now, to be tactical though, there's two things that companies need to do at the very high level. The first one is they need to fish where the fish are. Stop trying to bring people back to your corporate website. That model is not the only way to go in the future. Instead, join them where they exist, fish where the fish are, and be part of the communities where they already are, instead of trying to always lure them back to you. The second thing to be relevant is to aggregate, collect all of those conversations that people are having online and pull it onto your corporate website. Bring that trusted discussion closer to your corporate website so people can have that discussion, bringing them closer to you. So as a response to what's happening in these communities online where trusted conversations, brands, IT departments, businesses are trying to figure out how they can connect with these things. So we're seeing the old types of tools connect with the new social tools. Take, for example, Salesforce, SAP, both large traditional CRM systems. They're partnered with Twitter now, and they're pulling in information. So when people say something on Twitter about them, and I think that Dell is using these things, and I think Comcast as well. When people say these things, then they'll get triggers within their CRM systems and be aware of what customers are saying. So we're starting to see this tie-in with these new social tools to the existing enterprise tools. And we should expect to see more of these things integrate as people are able to not just be aware of the mentions, but they're starting to track it, manage it, flag it, and have workflow within their systems. So companies are starting to make this part of their ongoing customer life cycle process. The benefit here is that customers will now be integrated in every single step in the product life cycle. You can't separate it out. Just you get their feedback in the beginning, then you build your product in a vacuum, then you market it. That's going away. So what's happening now is that there's an overlay. This is the big trend. This is the big theme here. The customers are part of this cycle the entire time, even if the brands don't choose for that to happen. They will self-support each other in the end. They will market the products in their own place. They'll start to collaborate and define what products are going to look like.